Now we are going to see how to make continuous sleeve placket. For this you need to make a sleeve placket pattern. Draw a rectangle. Width should be 1/8 of an inch. The finished width is 1/4 inch. I'm going to fold into 4 times. So you need 1/8. If you fold 4 times to 1/4 inch, it is 1 inch only. I given 1/8 because the bottom layer I want 1/16 extra than the top layer. Cut it on the warp direction. It is just a rectangle piece. Length of the placket is double the sleeve slit length and add seam allowance to that. You can cut little extra, around 1 inch extra, then that can be cut later at the bottom. So this is going to be my continuous sleeve placket. Then I'm marking the slit over here, assuming this is your sleeve. I want 5 inches, so I'm giving a 1/2 inch seam allowance at the bottom. So 5.5 inch I'm making a slit line. For this demonstration purpose, I'm going to do it on the small piece. Next you have to cut from here to here. So if you want to stable that area, you can use interlining, because once you cut, that become very weak. So if it is a lightweight fabric, you can use around 1 inch interlining on the wrong side. So that is the interlining I'm keeping on the back side of the sleeve placket. So that even if you cut a V notch, I'll show you later, it will be more stable. Then cut the slit. So just make a slit over there. No need to make V notches at that area. Now I'm going to start from here. Start with 1/4 inch seam allowance. So while going up, you have to reduce the seam allowance almost 0 over there. Then open the fabric like that. The slit become straight. And so start with 1/4 inch here and almost 0 over there, and again finish with 1/4 inch. First you have to stitch it on the wrong side, then turn it, first stitch on the wrong side and turn it to the right side and close it. So what I'll do is I'll just make it 180 degree, that is make it as a straight line. Then you can pin it. Put all 3 layers, pin all 3 layers with pins so that it's easier to stitch. Let's move on to the sewing machine to stitch it. So you can see that bottom is little extra. I'm keeping right side of the sleeve placket facing wrong side of the sleeve, and I'm maintaining 1/4 inch of the sleeve placket, but in the sleeve at the bottom I am giving 1/4 inch. While reaching the top of the slit I am reducing to 0. Sleeve placket I am maintaining 1/4 inch. I am moving out the sleeve so that I'll end up 0 at the top. Then start at the same point, and while finishing it should be 1/4 inch seam allowances. Remove the pins. So make sure there is no wrinkles on the top. It should be neat and clean. Next, first fold once, 1/4 inch. And 2 times fold. Do like a binding. It should cover the first stitch. After stitching this, the first stitch should not visible outside. Next, bring it down, take the excess on the back side, so you have to secure the top. Then turn this, and make a triangle stitch on the top so that placket will be folded and keep in position. I am stitching diagonally over there. Trim the excess on the bottom. So that completes continuous sleeve placket. Since we are given the pad tag, it will give more strength on that area. This is the easiest placket to make. Only thing is, on the top of the placket, make sure there is no wrinkles. Now we are going to see some variation in the continuous sleeve placket. This is similar to continuous placket. Now I am making the placket width of 1 inches. The previous one I made 1/4 inch width. I am marking a slit. I am making a slit for 5.5 inch. 5 inch ready, 1/2 inch seam allowance. The sleeve placket width is 1 inch. So mark 1/4 inch from the placket side and give 1/2 inch gap and mark another 1/4 inch. So total width will be 1 inch for the 1 inch sleeve placket. Then draw a parallel line for that 1/2 inch. Mark 1/2 inch. Draw a parallel line. Mark 1/4 inch on both the side. Draw a diagonal line. Cut diagonally for the 1/4 inch. First cut 1/2 inch apart and trim the top. then cut diagonally. Assuming this is your sleeve pattern. Next, cut the placket. Placket start from here and go there. Measure it 6 inches and again 6 inches and 1 inches. So total 6 plus 6 plus 1, 13 inches. So your placket should be little more than the 13 inches because it's a continuous placket. Width is 1 inch plus 1 inch plus seam allowance half plus half an inch. So you can mark 2.5 to 2 3/4 half an inch. Sleeve placket is 1 inch, fold 1 inch, total 2, then 3/8 3/8 seam allowances. So total 2 3/4 of an inch I am cutting. Length 6 inches plus 6 inches plus 1 inches. So total 13. You can add little extra. You can trim it off later. If you want to strengthen that area, you can use the reinforce that particular area so that it will be more strengthened. Next, we have to turn like that and make it as a straight line. Even you can secure with the pins so that it's easier while stitching. Turn the placket, make it as a straight line. Then mark right and wrong side. This is right side, wrong side. Keep right side facing right side and do a stitch and turn and do like a binding. Keep right side facing. Do wrong side facing right side and do a stitch and turn on the top and do a stitch. Let's move on to the sewing machine to make the stitch. Here I am following 1/4 inch seam allowances. There you have to stitch carefully. Do not stitch on the fold line. Follow exactly 1/4 inch from top to bottom. Next, turn the sleeve placket. Crease it. Then fold the seam allowances. If required, you can do the iron. It should cover the stitches what we stitch already, so that it won't visible outside. Then do the stitching. Next, remove the pins. Then decide your smaller part will go inside, then bigger part will come on top. So if you fold, you will get a shape similar to the doghouse placket. Just fold the triangle shape on the top. Fold it inside. Then fold it on top, so automatically it will form triangle shape on the top. So this placket look like tailor's placket, that is doghouse placket. Then make 2 mm stitch from the edge. Then do a horizontal stitch. It should be below the cut line. If required, you can do some design stitches. So I just move 2 stitches top, that is 1/4 inch, and I finish with back tack. So you can see the bottom, it is secure over there because of the stitch. Inside also neat, and trim the excess fabric over there. This is construction is similar to continuous placket, but you will get a doghouse shape. So the width of the sleeve placket is 1 inches. Then move on to the iron machine and iron it. Now continuous placket with 1 inch width is ready. Now we are going to see how to make Taylor's placket. This is widely used in the men's shirt. The shape on the top is in the shape of doghouse, so sometimes it is called doghouse placket. You need a sleeve placket smaller and sleeve placket bigger, and this is the template. So you need to cut 2 bigger placket and 2 smaller placket for both the side sleeve. For this demonstration I am cutting one only, because one side only I am going to show you. If you want to cut both the side, cut it on the mirror. Trace the pattern and follow the grain line. Normally it will be lengthwise grain line, same as sleeve pattern. And you can find one small slit over there. Mark the slit and cut it. So I'll explain in 2 methods. One is traditional method, the second one what industries follows. Mark the slit. Then mark 1/4 inch both the side. And make V-shape slit on the top. If required, you can use the interlining over there, 1 inch on the wrong side, so that area will be more strength. This is a smaller side of the sleeve, and that is another bigger side. The small placket will come on the smaller side, and bigger placket will come on the bigger side. Let's move on to the sewing machine for the stitching. Take the smaller sleeve placket on the smaller side, align to the slit, keep it on the wrong side, matching on the wrong side, start exactly from the top diagonal mark and do the stitch. I am stitching on the wrong side of the sleeve, facing right side of the sleeve placket. So if you see from the top, both the wrong side is visible on top. And do 1/4 inch distance stitch. Next, take your bigger sleeve placket and same as smaller sleeve placket, keep right side down, wrong side top, and align to that mark, and you have to start exactly from the mark. You may notice that I did not cut the slit yet. Next, you have to cut the slit and make a V shape on the top. I am cutting middle of the stitch. Do not cut fully, stop 1/4 inch before and take the sleeve placket out and cut only the sleeve pattern. the diagonal cut should be only on the sleeve pattern, not on the sleeve placket. Then crease it. Crease the bigger placket. Then turn the fabric and take the smaller placket outside. And take the bigger placket. Then first fold one and fold again. First fold into half, again fold again, then crease it. The final width of the smaller sleeve placket will be 1/4 inch. Then make a stitch at the edge. Now I am stitching on the right side of the sleeve. Stitch up to the top notch mark. Don't stitch fully. Stitch up to the slit mark, then cut the thread. Next, there you can see some ridges on the triangle piece that has to be covered. What you have to do is turn it like that, so that the triangle piece will come on the right side and attach with the smaller sleeve placket. So turn it in. Take the triangle piece to the right side of the sleeve and attach with the small sleeve placket so that the raw edges will be covered. Do a back tack, and while stitching, make sure it is not creating any wrinkles. Leave some 1/4 inch extra, then cut the smaller sleeve placket. If you see the wrong side of the sleeve, it should be very neat and clean. Next, we have to finish the bigger sleeve placket. If required, you can do the iron. Fold the seam allowances. Even you can use the template and do iron. So using the template, I made the shape on the top. If the fabric is difficult to handle, you can use iron also. So after the shapes are done, and you can do the top stitch. Make sure it covers the previous stitches. The attaching stitch should not visible. Make sure you are not stitching on the smaller placket. Take it out and do a edge stitch. Stitch the diagonal triangle shape. Don't stitch fully. Just come down around 1 inches and come little below the slit and make a horizontal stitch. Even you can check with your template to get the position. Then go 1/4 inch above and make another stitch and finish with back tack. Trim the threads and trim the excess at the bottom. So that secure the bottom. So you can see that inside also neat. So this is the traditional method of making sleeve plackets. And move on to the iron table and do a press. And make sure it is neat and clean. Your tailor placket first variation is completed. Now let's see how to make the same sleeve placket by industrial method. So industry, they have to work fast to increase the productivity. So let's see how they are doing it. So I'm using the same pattern, but I also made template on the cardboard. This is very useful for ironing. If you want more stiff, you can even use aluminum or any other material which is more stiff. From the horizontal line, mark 1/4 inch down and mark 1/4 inch on both the side and mark diagonal line. If you want to strengthen that area, you can use interfacing on the back side and right and wrong side. This is the muslin fabric. This is stiff enough so that I am not going to use it. If your fabric is lightweight, you just fuse it. Then cut the both smaller and bigger placket. Next, cut the interlining in the template shape so that it will be more stiff. Mark right side and wrong side. The smaller placket will come on the smaller side and bigger placket will come on the bigger side of the slit. Then keep the interlining on the wrong side and leave the seam allowance all around and fuse it. So now I am preparing the small sleeve placket. Fold, but not exactly half. There should be 1/8 difference over there. There is a purpose for that. Next, open, fold to the middle on both the sides. Then fold top one to the middle. So if you fold again, you can see that the top one is little smaller than the bottom one. That is purposely given. So while stitching on the top, the bottom also will be cased. If you match it equally, there are chances while stitching on the top, bottom stitches will run off. So it's always better to make the bottom one 1/16 to 1/8 bigger than the top one. Next, take the bigger sleeve placket, also use the template and keep it in position and fold and iron. Carefully iron the shape of the sleeve placket. So bottom should be little bigger than the top. So what you can do is fold over the top, apply the steam, automatically it will be little bigger than the top one. So fold it inside. So in this method we are going to stitch only on the top so that the bottom should be a little bigger. Next, take out the template pattern. Now we prepare the smaller placket and bigger placket. Next, we are going to cut this and insert the placket. Cut the slit. Use the sharp scissor. Cut accurately. Mark. Cut the V mark on both the sides. Next, move on to the sewing machine for the stitching. Now we are going to stitch on the right side of the sleeve. The previously we attach it on the wrong side and turn it to the right side and we made second stitch, but in this method we are going to stitch only once. So insert like a binding and start from the slit. And stitch till the bottom. Once done, take the triangle piece to the right side and make sure there is no wrinkles and make a horizontal stitch to cover the raw edges. The triangle stitch should be on the right side. The triangle piece should be on the right side. Finish with back tack. So turn it and you can check it in the wrong side. It should be neat and clean and there should not be any raw edges. So check with the sleeve placket template and match the length. If required, mark from where to start. Then insert 1/4 inch to the other side of the sleeve slit and move to the mark. Leave some 1/4 inch and cut the excess. So first insert 1/4 inch down, then cover the top also. And stitch from the bottom. And stitch below the slit mark. You can check with the template for the horizontal line and stitch till that point. It should come below the slit. Then do a horizontal stitch, and you can do a back tack, or you can make one more parallel stitch. Or you can stitch as a X mark. Instead of a doggo shape, you can make it as a square shape also on the top. So it should come below the slit so that it will give more strength on that area. So now you can see that it is very nice sleeve placket. Trim the excess. So this is how the industry makes sleeve placket. One stitch here, one stitch here. That's it. Only you need to prepare the sleeve placket in the iron table. And this method, it's very fast and neat. You can try your own other variations in the sleeve plackets. Then go to the iron table and press it neatly and make sure there is no wrinkles on it.